The first thing we need to do in this lesson is create another site, and that site has some images and things that we can use to facilitate what we're going to do. So let's go up to the word Site on the pull-down menu and go down to New Site. For New Site, this is a project where we're dealing with the fictitious zoo. So we're going to call it Happy Zoo, because all the animals smile at my zoo. Come down here and click this button. Now where you're going is the work folder for this lesson. And in that work folder for this lesson, you will find, I've got mine on the desktop right now, you will find a folder called Happy Zoo. And that's got the stuff we need to get going. Click Choose. But before we click Save, let's do one more thing here. Let's say that we have a site that we're going to upload this to. We haven't done this yet. I want you to go to the word Servers right here. Just click that button. This is where we set up our site transfer, FTP, SFTP, WebDAV, whatever we're going to use. But we do it a little bit differently than earlier versions. You have to click this button right here. When you click it, we're adding a new server, which means you can have multiple servers. We'll stick to basics. We have to give our server a name, and we'll call it REMOTE, Remote Server. That's pretty simple. Down here is the connection. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. Probably the most common, but FTP has one problem. It's unsecure. FTP sends everything unencrypted, including things like your username and password. Although it's used a lot, in secure situations, you might want to try SFTP, which is Secure FTP. The other one I'll mention is WebDAV, and WebDAV basically solves a problem that can happen when you're working with multiple users because it always locks things when they're being used and prevents other people from working on them. We're going to stick FTP. And once you've got then, the FTP address goes here, 111.222. Something like that. That's obviously not a real one. You can check the port. Now this would come from your FTP server. They'd tell you this stuff. Your username goes here. And your top secret password goes here. And you can test this site, and I do recommend that. In other words, test it to see what it's doing. You might need a specific root directory where you're going on the FTP. In other words, we're not basically just going out to this particular FTP. We're going into a certain folder, and then you could always add that down here too as the web URL, which is actually emulating it up here. So you'd wind up with the root directory here. So say it's like /www.htdocs, which is actually a pretty common one. And that information would then be down here. It's added on. That's all we need to do, but understand if you do this correctly, you now have your site set up so that we can transfer the information to the site that's supporting us and hosting us. Click Save. I'm not going to because that's gibberish. And then basically that name would be up here for you. Then you click Save again, and boom, there you go. We have our site open. And we're ready to rock with the Happy Zoo.